Hi everyone. So in today's video I plan to make some DIY Christmas home decorations. To me it's always so much fun to make some of my own things. A lot of the ideas I get off of Pinterest or just things that I've always wanted to try. And I'll probably be working at this countertop for a lot of the projects. Thought I'd take you guys with me as I work on them, so enjoy. Last year I had made some round salt dough ornaments, and of course you can make any shape using the same recipe. In this case, I plan to make little trees. The recipe is really simple, just 1 cup of flour and a 1/2 cup of salt. And then you mix that with barely a 1/2 cup of water, and I always add a couple tablespoons of white latex paint. That way my dough will be nice and white. I'll just knead that together and then roll it out to about, maybe a 1/4 inch thick. I made a simple triangle pattern for some of my trees, and then I'm also using my cookie cutter. You bake them for an hour at 210 degrees. Here I'm going to use some bottle corks for the trunks of my trees. Now you could also use little branch sections from the woods, as your trunks, but I think it would be harder to get them to stand level or even stay standing at all. The corks, of course, have a nice little slant to them, so that will help. And I'm just cutting a slit at the top of these little pieces to stick the trees in. I did get these corks off of Amazon, and just a package with a variety of different sizes, and I'll link that down below in case you're looking for something like this. Here I cut a 4-inch piece of cardboard, and I plan to use this to create little yarn tassels. I'm planning on making 3 of them, a large, medium, and small, and then making a little yarn tree out of them. And then I plan to put them on a string with some wooden beads, creating a garland of sorts. As I'm editing here, I noticed this ladybug. Not sure why I didn't see it as I was working on these, but hopefully it's not too distracting. I didn't have a large needle on hand to thread my beads, so I just took a paper clip and kind of bent that into the shape of a needle, pinched the piece of yarn on the one end, and I'm just using this to thread through my beads and trees. And all of this yarn and the beads I got off of Amazon. I will also link that down below in case you're looking for something like this. I know this is a pretty crafty project, but I think it's going to look kind of cute hanging somewhere this winter. I really want to make a little gingerbread house for my cake stand this year. I've never done this before, and I'm not planning on baking it. I never did that, but I have made little cardboard creations before, so that is what I'm using here. I'm just going to use cardboard, probably glue it together, and then decorate it using real frosting. basically I'm just using a knife and scissors to cut out my house shape and then adding some windows and doors. And any places I want a fold to be in, instead of, cutting all the way through, I'll just lightly cut it to score it, and that will give me a nice even fold. I want to arrange the house along with a few trees onto this cake tray, and I really wish I had a deer. I don't think I have one, so I'll have to keep my eyes open for one, but I think eventually I'd like to add a little deer in the front yard. I'll go ahead and glue these pieces down just a bit so they'll stay in place. After I have them glued, I'm going to give everything a coat of snow spray. I really wanted to make one of those white, kind of ceramic looking houses that you put little tea light candles inside. And the only thing I could think of to use here is air clay. Now, I've never actually used this before. I know my boys have, for school projects, and if I remember correctly, their little designs used to dry to almost like a stone or ceramic feel. So I'm going to try to make a little church house out of this. So being the impatient person that I am, I don't want to wait 2 to 3 days for this little house to dry. So I did some research, went online, and it sounds like you can actually bake it in the oven. It's not like you don't have to because it does air dry eventually. The one article said to bake it at a low temperature for maybe 20 minutes, leave it in the oven until it's completely cooled off. As I started making my pieces, I realized I would either need to make my walls really, really thick in order for this little house to stay standing, or maybe use a mold of some sort to put in the middle of it and kind of build it out around. So here I'm choosing to use a wood block. And again, I've never done this before. I'm just hoping I'll be able to get that block out of there once this house has dried. So I made it smaller and then kind of build it out around the block. And it works really well, I'm discovering, to make my fingertips wet and actually use a little bit of water to connect these pieces together. You can almost get it to where you don't even see any seams. It's pretty cool. So far, it's really fun working with this clay. I almost feel like a little girl again, playing with Play-Doh. Here I'm using a candy cane cookie cutter to get my arches for my windows. I didn't know it at the time, but this little house actually isn't going to turn out. But I kept the tutorial in here because I think if I would have just kept it out of the oven and let it air dry, even with that wood block in the middle, it might have worked. I would then have later on, created the roof and then maybe glued that on. But I ended up going a different route, which you'll find out soon here. And here's what it looks like right before I'm putting it in the oven. Who knows, maybe this is the last time we'll see it looking like this. Not sure what's going to happen. I decided to go a lot simpler with my little house, or lantern in this case. Just created a cylinder and then a little roof for it, connected the two pieces, and here is where I think I could have done a better job with it. After it dried, I did see my fingerprints where I, pressed the seam together. Probably could have spent a little more time on that, but it did end up drying nicely, and it has that kind of ceramic feel to it. Pretty primitive, but kind of cute. Hopefully it'll give you guys an idea of what can be done with air clay. The last few DIY items I want to show you, you may have gotten glimpses of before. I had them featured in my Christmas video and then also on Instagram, but we have this old fence board that is beside our shop. It's been there for a couple of years, and this fence is actually one that was made when I was just a young girl, you know, living here on this property at home. Dad had built this fence, and I remember helping to stain it. It was a long stretch of fence because, of course, we needed this for our horses. We were Amish at the time. That was our transportation. But I remember helping to stain it, and it just seemed never ending. But a couple of years ago, we did remove the fence. It wasn't really nice anymore, and it was serving no purpose. You know, we didn't have horses anymore. And we ended up making some cute little triangle trees and then some ornaments out of the posts for the Christmas season. We've been really busy with them. As I'm speaking here, as I'm editing this video, I'm not even sure will they still be in stock, because we were running a little low on wood actually. But if you are looking for something like this, it's probably worth it to head on over to my Etsy shop and check it out. I know John had kind of been keeping track of, you know, when or how much wood he has left over. But this wood is such a pretty color after, you know, that old stain is sanded off. It's just a nice dark weathered look. And we ended up applying anti-Sloan clear wax over the trees. Turned out so cute. And then the ornaments, I actually had a dry kill going on in my kitchen at one point. I had posted this on Instagram. I'm sure some of you saw it, but that kind of seemed to work the best. And I turned my oven on warm, which was 170 degrees, and dried them in there for probably around a half hour. Some didn't quite take that long, but I just kind of felt, you know, if it was dry to the touch, I knew they were probably dried. Some took a little longer than others, but that really seemed to work well. We sanded them down, drilled some holes in them, and added cute little Christmas words. So if you happen to have some discarded fencing of your own, this may be something you want to try. It's very simple, and I of course love the natural wood look in my home. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. As always, I hope you're having a great day and enjoying the Christmas season that we're in. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!